scores. If Liquid loses both, though, then we're talking all of a sudden about the map score. And because Fnatic has such a fantastic position with their +8 already, they have a very good chance if they win this series to overtake Team Liquid. And especially if Liquid loses both, because you have to imagine that then they lose at least 2 points. Fnatic is getting a few more, so if you do the math, Fnatic would take over that spot. For Leftovers, it's harder, because their map score is not really that great, but Leftovers are looking more at a position where they would love to take the number 3 spot. And as we heard from Mopsio, they would also prefer to face Team Liquid in playoffs compared to facing Fnatic in playoffs. So for Leftovers, they would love if Fnatic would take the direct route to BlizzCon so that they feel they have a better chance going up against Team Liquid when it's playoff time.
We do have the second battleground ready. Team Liquid, they do go down Game 1 in its best of 5. And in the past, I've seen them somewhat falter under pressure when they fall behind in the series, and with so much on the line, with how important these 2 matches are, will we see them bounce back? And speaking with Hazelwabs yesterday, I do feel confident that they are going to be able to. Towers of Doom could give them a different opportunity in front of Shrines Gate.
Yeah, Towers is also a map where I'm looking towards their Haka ban. I want to see if Liquid bans him out. We have seen Eternal with a lot of their Haka, but it's one of the best heroes that we see from Last Hope. So there is a chance that Liquid is just saying, okay, we're not going to touch the global game here, we're going to get rid of that. Another hero that I want to see addressed is Abathur. More so, very likely to be banned out by Fnatic if I would have to take a guess, since Liquid is a bit more focused on playing with Abathur. But outside of that, my question is again, where does Tyrande land, for example? That's a big pick for me, what's going to happen around her. And yeah, we're going to see that answered in just a bit as we're heading into draft number 2.
I'm not sure I would say that this is their strongest battleground by any means, but Tyrande fell through the draft last time, didn't she?
Yeah.
So I am also curious to see where she's going to fall. You're trying to channel the Altar. That's an easy stun for a Lunar Flare. A lot of follow-up potentially. The Owls could have an implication throwing them from long range. And we've seen time and time again so far this weekend the exclamation point that she adds to an overall team fight and burst capability. On a battleground like this where Li Ming could have a huge impact, Tyrande Li Ming, it could be deadly on you.
You mentioned Li Ming. There's another hero that also we have to point out, and that's Ana. Fnatic played Ana, I'm pretty sure it was on Towers of Doom the last time, with Li Ming as a setup, and that is very dangerous. And the ban patterns are already... So far they are the same, but this is where it becomes interesting, because Hammer and Genji get rid of, but now what do you ban? There's still Maiev around, there's Tyrande around, Abathur, Dehaka, all situations that you have to think about. And Liquid actually pulls the plug on Abathur. Both teams have played Abathur 3 times. Liquid has 2 wins with the Slug, Fnatic has only 1. But now we're looking at, okay, what could Liquid first pick? Are you afraid of a Tyrande first pick? Do you want to eliminate Dehaka because you don't want to play against the global? Maiev again still around here. Super curious to see how Liquid is going around this now.
At the very least, Tyrande should be in the conversation right now for Fnatic, and they are going to ultimately opt to ban out Diablo. Tyrande, I think she's more than proven to be first pick worthy almost on any battleground. But the bans do show to me a difference in philosophy. We do see the first pick Tyrande. The Sergeant Hammer ban says to me, Team Liquid is looking to protect their front line. That's how they want to try to find success. Whereas Fnatic, they want Mene to have the easiest game of his life in these matches, or in these games, by just hanging out in the back, throwing damage out, and so far it's worked out for them.
So the Diablo ban, it's a great hero for both teams. Fnatic has a great track record with Diablo, so does Liquid. Liquid also very successful with Garrosh. And the thing is, you want to also break off the possibility of there being that Urel Diablo composition, especially with Deckard Cain. So that's already a tribute to that. And they like to play the Meridian. Very early commitment to Tracer here with that Tyrande. Now the interesting part is that especially later on, Tyrande can actually go one-on-one against Tracer. With a Hunter's Mark and everything up, you can actually take that. But of course, Tyrande is still vulnerable to Tracer. So whenever there's damage in, Tracer is the one who has the opportunity to dive in deep quickly, get that pulse bomb, parting gift, get out, and confirm an easy kill against a hit point weak hero. It's one of the reasons why Liquid actually drops now the double support that we've already seen in one variation earlier with Granite Gaming. So Tyrande possible as a solo support, as we've seen yesterday, but now a double support setup. And the Garrosh that I just pointed out. As Diablo's banned out, Garrosh is the second best hero, taking the same tier level for Team Liquid at the front line. Sport really is great here. So I'm liking the way this is shaping up. A lot of power picks here for both of the teams.
I'm liking it a lot, too. For the Tracer pick, I'm hoping that we see Garrosh try to address her more. If Tyrande is just trying to land raw Lunar Flares on a high-mobility hero like Tracer, probably not going to have the biggest chance of success. But here we, again, do see the double support setup. Tyrande and Malfurion showing up to keep Garrosh alive. So many times we see Garrosh with like 5% health, almost getting taken down. The other team overextends, and it comes back to bite him. Yrel is going to show up. Jaina is the selection. Do we see Li Ming here to round it out for Team Liquid?
I mean, for Liquid, Li Ming would make sense since you have the burst damage as a follow-up on any kind of Sun setup that you can possibly get here. I think that might be also one of the reasons why we're now having Jaina taken on Fnatic's side, trying to eliminate that a bit from their opponents. Liquid has played with Jaina in the past. So did Fnatic. Both of them have played just a few games, but both of them were beaten. Yrel is so far interesting to me that Fnatic actually opted for Yrel over Dehaka, which isn't a big deal in the sense of, again, Yrel is the best hero in HGC Europe from a win rate perspective. She is insanely impactful. But given that Fnatic plays a lot with Dehaka and that Last Hope really shines on the hero, I could have totally seen them play in the global game, but they go into Yrel instead, give Liquid the option. There's Ana, as we said before, this time with Jaina, not with Li Ming as an option. Still cool to see. And same thought process, get the burst damage in, get those kills in, follow up on the Muradin stun in particular. So, yeah, Tychus on the other side, but I'm happy with both drafts here. I think both teams walked away with something where they say, it's good, we'll like this. And now it comes down to execution. Ana has to be very careful of Dehaka. Outside of that, home game.
I largely agree. I think the Yrel pick could very well define this entire draft. When you have Ana and Tracer, you don't exactly have a ton of wave clear. You're then really relying on Jaina to be able to supplement that, but you want her generally to save those abilities for when you go for engagements. So having Dehaka on the other side, having that macro advantage, if we see Fnatic fall behind, if they don't get value out of the team fights that this composition is kind of built for, they could find themselves never getting the bottom tower back. They could find themselves falling behind an overall soak. So they're just putting a lot of confidence in their ability to get kills.
Yeah, I mean, there is especially the cool thing about Jaina is also she can easily take a camp by herself later, especially after 16, depending on what talent you go for. If you go for Numbing Blast or not, you can easily take one of the mercenary camps at the bottom solo. You just go through one round of cooldowns, you have the camp taken, move in from that, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, the more sustainable wave clear is definitely on the side of Liquid.
Over on the left side, looking to even this series up, it's Team Liquid. Hasawabs is on Tychus. Sport Billy's playing Garrosh. Eternals on Dehaka. Nurak switching over to Malfurion, and Arcana will round it out. The Alfro and Tyrande.
And to the right side of the map with the lead in the series, it is Fnatic with Amena, the French menace on Jaina once again. Breeze playing Muradin. Shwimpy on Tracer. High mobility here. Smexy's gonna have to try and keep up with him on his Ana, and Last Hope is on Yrel. Smexy and Fnatic, the team that brought Ana back into the European meta here, at least in HGC. And now, of course, how much can they get out of that? The piercing darts, super important as the level 1 quest. You want to stack that quickly, get those 10 stacks so that you can stay at a bit of a safer distance, and then move onwards to get those 20 to increase that even further. But yeah, Liquid has a pretty good draft there themselves with the double support setup. Let's see how much they can get out of that.
Stormbolt just misses. Breeze like, all right, exit stage right. The Ana Jaina pick stands to frustrate the front line of Team Liquid in particular. Garrosh being constantly slowed by Jaina makes his approach and retreat all the more frustrating. Shrimpy continuing to be the fly in the ointment with this Tracer. The sleep goes in on the Tychus. Smexy, he's going to be landing those more often than not.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, in an ideal world, you follow up on Muradin. So this is why the two of them are moving together quite a bit, because Muradin starts or attempts to set the Stormbolt up. Breeze expects the rotation from Billy, but Billy doesn't do them the favor of walking into that Stormbolt. And here's what I talked about earlier. Mena already is basically trying to solo in camps. Mexy's helping out a little bit. Later on, once that the additional talents come in for Jaina, it's way easier for her to get those, but these quick rotations that you can then see will allow Mena to get camps very, very easily for Fnatic.
Level 1 talent for Tyrande is Celestial Attunement. So those stuns for Muradin stand to have limited value, and that kind of, in my opinion, really hinges on how they go for these isolations and takedowns. So long as Tyrande's around, could be a very huge foil to the full merits of Fnatic's composition. Both teams not wasting any time on getting their sappers, and we do see Fnatic looking to press that advantage. But Mene is going to back up and further bolster that. Can they look to make a push?
Yeah, Celestial Attunement is definitely pretty crazy as a talent. I don't think there's a lot of chance that we're anytime soon going to see a different talent taken here. Of course, Spell Armor can be a choice depending on the composition, but in 95% of the case, I'm not never going to see this one. Then on level 4, not really a big change there. Going for the quest talent, Lunar Blaze for the range. Talking range, there it comes into play as Arcana is looking for that stun, but Breeze is hopping away on the Dwarf as you do.
That's the thing I love about Tyke is when he activates that minigun, it's not the most telegraphed ability, so if the front line is not being very heads up about their health bar, it vanishes way faster than you would expect. A lesser skilled player would have just hung out like, I can eat damage, I'm murdering. You lose that percentage-based damage. The tongue just misses on Breeze. I want to see how much value it's had out of this minigun throughout the game.
I mean, good juke out of Breeze there. The danger is really that once that you are stunned out by, well, the Tong connects, the Root connects, the Tyrande stun connects. If she immediately applies the Hunter's Mark and then Tychus follows it up with the minigun and the extra damage to the follow-up, that is insane burst against any kind of hero, especially, of course, with the bigger they are that we have as a talent choice here. So Breeze can be bursted down pretty quickly. Those two talents combined, crazy powerful against him.
Yeah, you're definitely seeing how Team Liquid wants to get some takedowns in the old column there. Arcane is charging up halfway. Smex is going to step around, throws a grenade for the interrupt. Nurok finds himself holding a bomb from Schwimpy. Just forces him out to allow Last Hope to charge it up. Or is he done? He goes in, tries to throw out the grenades afterwards, but no takedown.
Schwimpy nearly got more Fury in, but had to move away. But the important part is they actually got the top left altar. Now they're channeling their own, and the bottom one is still being fought over. Now Schwimpy hasn't really made a move into the bot lane yet, so they're willing to give this one up. It's still a 2-for-1 trade for them. So could have seen them even try and make the play for the bot lane, but instead they're just giving this one up. They're pushing out the mid lane, still continuing to dominate those rotation, and it leads also to a lead in experience for the two of them.
Smex is out here playing it fast and loose. He was hanging out in that bush, and if Garrosh thought to go fishing and throw the ground breaker and that stun connected, that's a throw, that's a takedown. But Smexy was able to back away. Sapper camps are going to get picked up first, at least, by Fnatic. Do they look to go over to the other side?
This is one of the big advantages over, I mean, we talked about the Mercenary clear, right? But if we asked the question in the draft, is it going to be a Jaina? Especially with Ana, Jaina, Li Ming would have been great. So Jaina, Li Ming, you have the throw-up between the two. Fnatic in the past played that Muradin Ana setup with a mage. They played it with Li Ming. They got a huge amount of kills. The resets really worked in fights. But the one aspect that Jaina brings that Li Ming just doesn't have is that wave clear. And that really helps them with wave clear on lane, but it's also a great tool with the Mercenary counts. And we see that over and over again. And you can tell how for Liquid it's more so a problem because they just don't have that instantaneous clear on these camps. So they need to commit more resources and more heroes to get through those. In the later stage, that is definitely going to make a bit of a difference.
Such a good point. I was worried about Fnatic's ability to wave clear, but if they can just stay on top of these camps, they don't have to worry about that at all. They're up 4 points right now, have a level lead. Next altars will be in the top left and right portions of the map. Now, last time we saw Fnatic take the top left, but a lot of resources were committed down bottom. Liquid could look to make a change this time.
Nice move against Arcana there, but really good reaction from Liquid. And Garrosh also throwing them out. He himself needs to use the Indomitable to get out. And Fnatic, what started as an engage on their end, turns into a quick retreat. But of course, in the meantime, those two altars activating. And we're seeing a Fnatic trying to make the play for the top left again.
Eternal with the sick jukes up in the top left. Last Hope is going to be able to channel that. No rotation.
That was awesome. There were two things that happened here. First of all, the owl was great, but what I liked even more was that we actually saw Schwimpy delaying the rotation towards the top left because he dove in and unmounted both of the heroes who were trying to go up top. So that was actually cool. The problem is that because he makes that move, he can't soak the owl. So great play by Arcana. Clutch, but it worked out for them. So it's an even trade then at the end in terms of altars once more. But I like the way that Fnatic is currently thinking about this. They're trying to aggressively do something we very rarely see on the map, and that's invading your opponent's altar and trying to catch that. And they're also attempting to make these plays around stun setups here at the bot lane with that 3-man, with Muradin, Ana, and Jaina. Didn't work out against Tyrande the last time, but it's a move that can work. The only reason why I didn't give them value is because Arcana saw it coming, jukes the Stormbolt of Muradin, and then stays safe as Garrosh throws him out. But there's a lot of potential for aggression and for kills from Fnatic that they're trying to use pre-temp.
For the next moment, Fnatic do enjoy hero tier advantage. Going to go ahead and waltz those sappers in. Could have implications later on. They are continuing to commit to these sappers. It's been serving them well thus far. They're going to go ahead and pick those up. Down towards the bottom, Garrosh looks like he's in a potential flanking position. Seeing that sapper cam picked up, if he's patient, he could find Smexy or Mini out of position.
Yeah, and they're trying to turn it around. That's 4 heroes here now. Smexy dodges out on most of it. Mene gets taunted though, and the attempt of Smexy to keep him alive is pointless. Great play there by Team Liquid. They turn the trap attempt around. Fnatic is looking for a counter kill in a 4 versus 4 situation, but Sport Billy reacts again. Good setup there by Billy.
That was incredible to watch. There's so much back and forth on the micro level. We see Garrosh move in, gets dismounted. Almost in range of Ana, gets slowed again by Jane. Then the cleanse comes out from Toronto to secure that takedown. Fever pitch, back and forth action. They're not done. A lot of damage is going in on the Breeze. Does have his avatar available. Eternal shows up. Surprise, hits the bobblehead and the follow-up grab afterwards with the Twilight Dream. They do not like dwarves.
Yeah, and Mirrodin walked into the wrong spot there for some point. But we have actually Tigers with a very early commitment to Odin, and that's because they're trying to force that altar, and it works out for them. So we're going to see both of the teams dead, even in points on the core here. Good kills from Liquid. The first 2 in the game. The first one against Jaina, the second one against Mirrodin here. Great play by them, and Fnatic just not able to keep these guys alive yet.
It looked personal. Like, everything was thrown onto Mirrodin there. Breeze is like, really, guys? All right.
I mean, Eternal was just like perfect timing for him. Coming in, hitting the isolation, and that just sealed the deal there. More stacks for Ana's level 1, 14 by now for Smexy, so really working towards that extra extended range here. Already being a little bit safer through the first quest reward. And talking quest talents, we have 13 stacks for Mirrodin on the Stormwall quest, 19 on Jaina for the level 1, so 1 away from completing that. And towards Garrosh with the Wall Breaker, we're currently having him at 10 stacks out of the 15 that he needs.
Now, you might not have noticed it, but Sport Billy used Ended the Fray to throw the minion onto Tracer. And then that slows enough for him to get into position. Foiled again by the rascally minion. That is the 3rd takedown for Team Liquid. Sport Billy, he's playing out of his mind right now in Garrosh.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of his best heroes by far. Like that and Diablo are the 2 best heroes for Billy. And you can see why. I mean, he is creating opportunities. He's saving a lot of targets. The first kill attempt that Fnatic had against Tyrande was basically foiled by Billy just stepping up and making sure that Tyrande was safe in the back line, throwing her back in. So we're going to see how that's going to continue, because even with those kills, Liquid hasn't really found a massive lead in experience yet. They're slightly ahead, but nothing too crazy yet. Again, focus on the camps here. 13 soon for Fnatic, and it comes just in time for the double altar that's now activating.
Liquid has been able to climb back in and stabilize. The Haka is hanging out on top, can burrow in at the right moment. Unstoppable gets used by Sport Billy. There's the throw, there's the taunt, there's the follow-up damage. The Ring of Frost is going to connect, and the first blood is going to be Garrosh. Unstoppable doesn't matter. He's going to get blown up. The follow-up chase, Last Hope, is looking to close out Tychus, and the Rock'em Sock'em Robot can sit this one out.
Down goes Tychus, even with Odin. Nice jump from Urel. Again, Stormbolt attempt against Arcana. The Drag connects against Breeze, though. He's trying to get out here, and Breeze able to escape. Double altar now open for Fnatic as they're starting the channels with Urel. Great engage. And all of it happened, actually, with Liquid trying to make the play. And you could see how quickly Breeze was first down. We talked about the trades. Hunter Smart and the minigun with the bigger they are on the side of Tychus. And it was the perfect display of how quickly Mirrodin could fall. The one thing that saved Breeze was that just between stuns, he had the opportunity to barely get the avatar out. And that was huge. Smexy using the extra time to keep him alive, and then the turnaround. Fnatic with a double kill, they get the double altar, and now Liquid is down to 19 points on their core.
The narrowest margins are deciding these team fights, and then the team that comes out ahead is blowing the chance wide open. You get the bottom altar, you get 5 points, you get both the altars, 28-19 off of just a few different button presses and timing put in there. Fnatic, they have to feel great about how they're going into this endgame. And they're walking sappers over.
Yeah, they're getting the sappers in, and they're letting Breeze sit at the side and Ana to make sure that whoever rotates down is not going to aggro them before they move through. So it's a trade. You trade the boss for the 3 shots, but it allows you to still hold the bot lane control, and that's something that Fnatic wants to hold on for as long as possible. Liquid is still in the game when it comes to experience, but they're hurting on the core points.
I do like the idea of going for the boss, but the name of the game I feel like needs to be getting that bottom altar for the next objective. The next altars are in the top left and right portions of the map. Again, tunnel is available. Murden's already hanging out by to see if someone decides to rotate. Eternal continues to hang around here on the dinosaur. He's going to get joined by Hasawabs. So it looks like Team Liquid, they're comfortable with leaving that bottom altar there. If they somehow lose this team fight, this is the next triple, actually. Yeah, so leaving that bottom altar, that could be a really big decision, Team Liquid.
Liquid is offsetting the balance by taking the top side, so it's 4 versus 4 again. But Fnatic is happy with that. Again, it comes down to the mercenary clear. They just move from camp to camp, quickly get that. Here again, bam bam, get the Blizzard in, Cone, and that's done. So now we're having altars active, but there's also minions pushing through the bot lane. So Liquid has to make the choice. Do they quickly take 2? Do they have what it needs to make that happen? Last Hope wants to make the jump, gets interrupted. Eternal with a great play here again. 2-for-1 trade. Liquid able to quickly secure the altar so that they can still make the rotation bot side. That was important. If you don't make that a quick move, then Fnatic stalls it out, then you are between a rock and a hard place and you have to make a choice. This was the perfect move by Liquid. Great drag by Eternal. Well done.
You get those two, you're also back in time to defend against these sappers. Breeze, Smexy, Shrimpy hanging out. Let's see what they can do. There's the stun. Does he go for the throw? Almost got in the throw range, but Shrimpy's pretty slippery on that Trace.
Yeah, 12 points to 16 on the core, 16 levels on both sides. Where we actually see 4 the armor piercing rounds taken. So even more damage with the overkill on the primary target. Everything that we are seeing from Tigers and also the Hunter's Mark just scream, kill Breeze, kill Muradin, take him down as fast as you can. The bigger they are, armor piercing rounds on 16, Hunter's Mark, they want to burn Breeze down and he needs to somehow stay alive. But this is not going to be easy, even with the help and the assistance of Smexy, who's going to try and watch out for him.
I like how Mini was hanging out in that bush and
Alright, that's a random death on the solo lane here.
In a world where Dahaka one-on-one Giroud.
That came a little bit out of left field for Fnatic, and it's not really at a good time. Last Hope definitely making a bit of a mistake for that to happen. Allowing Dahaka to take him down, and now we have the fight at the bot lane, but Billy is dead! Billy goes down, and that's the problem. Mena might also fall. Smexy's trying to keep him alive, but Odin a bit too strong. Next kill comes in as we have Eternal joining the fun, and that's Ana down 3 heroes against 1 at the end of the day. Liquid in a great spot to start that comeback and have taken a massive leading experience too.
Urel taken down on top, and suddenly all hell breaks loose on the other side of the map. The global pressure from Eternals, Dahaka's going to show up, and that will pave the way for Team Liquid to even this score up. It was a cheeky play. I like that Shrimpy went in there, got the bomb, got the takedown, but when you're overextended and then you're down numbers thanks to the global, I guess they thought maybe we could just get this takedown and back out real quick, but Dahaka has a global too.
Yeah, now Fnatic is actually in trouble. It's even on the core points, but the map control has shifted towards Team Liquid and also the leading experience. So Urel should be able, with that minion wave that pushes through, to at least get topside back. But now with those heroes dying, you all of a sudden lose a bit out on that camp control that you've been trying to maintain over the duration of the game. And it all started with Last Hope falling. That can't happen. You can't die as Urel against Dahaka in the solo lane like this.
I mean, it's evenly matched. There's the long-range isolation. It's going to connect. Sport Billy says, we want to have this conversation with you. There's the taunt afterwards, and they just do not like Breeze. The bomb goes in on a Sport Billy. Not going to be enough for a takedown. They just managed to avoid the Ring of Frost. The end of the fray saves Tigers, but the sleep goes in. There's a jump from Last Hope. He's like, I remember what you did to me in the top lane. But Eternal is going to be able to move.
Yeah, Eternal has to pop his essence, but he's able to stay alive, and that was important. Fnatic was really desperately trying to go for the counter kill there. That was an important one, and they could not make that happen. But we talk again about Breeze, and it's that problem that I mentioned earlier. The Hunter's Mark into the bigger they are, trying to get the minigun through, and then the overkill afterwards. If Breeze is for some reason not able, because he's stunned out, for example, to get the avatar through, there is no way for him to survive. And it's that throw of Garrosh into the silence on Malfurion, and the stuns that we're having, the Tong that connects. Breeze is under so much pressure here to somehow survive. Even with Stone Form, it's not easy for him by any means. And Liquid is, of course, with that leading experience now looking towards that level 20. They want the Storm Talents, and they want to gain so much momentum that they can push Fnatic into uncompact.
Eternal lands the drag from last year, but the warp is going to be there to get Tracer out. There's the isolation on to Last Hope. Breeze is like, all right, we're just jumping in. We saw you guys tried to go for us. Mini eats a lot of damage, is going to get healed up by Ana. There's the Groundbreaker. Actually disrupts the positioning for Arcaner's Lunar Flare. Tychus is still in the Odin. Just drops out. Crazy scrap right there.
That was pretty crazy, because if Tracer falls, it's a completely different ballgame. But with Tracer surviving, Liquid just used a ton of their cooldowns and didn't get anything out of it. So that was great for Fnatic. All of a sudden they're in a spot where they say, guys, this is actually doable. We can get that one altar and then we can play it slow before Liquid, or when Liquid has the 20 advantage. So right now, you know that there's a ton of cooldowns that just have been burned on your opponent's side. The traits alone are worth it, but also heroic abilities. And this is where Fnatic is now trying to make a move. But good reaction by Liquid, getting the camp while they're waiting.
Team Liquid does have a decent amount of poke. They are going to be able to use that. Can they hold out long enough for their 20-tier advantage? Do they just need to take this team fight? Now, Sport Billy throws someone out of the Ring of Frost, but at what cost? He is going to be able to back away. Arn Defender gets used, and now Dahaka gets isolated, has the ability to burrow, starts to back away. Then there's the Blizzard to further isolate him, but another nice drag. The isolation connects. It is all hands on deck right now in this team fight.
Liquid is still there, though, and Fnatic is trying to zone them out at this point so that they can someone let channel that back altar, and that's what's happening here. No one soaking the ult. That's actually an issue. They should have seen that one coming, but Last Hope is still trying to make it happen, and that's the next interrupt. Problematic for Fnatic as Liquid is getting closer to level 20 and the fight starts just once again. Odin being popped here once more on the side of Team Liquid, but the Haka is in trouble and he's losing out on the essence. Again it's Billy, again it's the save, but here comes Shrimpy and he gets the kill.
Sport Billy did everything he could, but at the end of it, Shrimpy still sets the Haka up the bomb, and that should pave the way for Fnatic to again take a lead in the overall core. That's going to send them down to 8. Team Liquid 48 seconds before Dahaka comes back. Does have the global ability to jump back in, but that was a huge fight for Fnatic.
Further than that, top bell tower was taken by the minions.
Ooh.
Top tail bell tower has just been taken, so Fnatic is on 5 points now, so 7 points on Team Liquid side. And that momentum is actually crazy, because first of all, Fnatic gets the earlier 20. Boss is up on the map, and they make the play for the bottom altar, or sorry, the bottom bell tower. Right now, Fnatic is absolutely on a momentum train. It's a pain train headed for Team Liquid's face, and they have to somehow try and dodge that, and it's going to be incredibly difficult. There's minions on the bottom, mercenaries they have to stop, there's a boss to be taken at the top, and this is not a fun time to be on Liquid side.
This very well could be 1, maybe even 2 shots before that bottom altar gets taken down. No one from Team Liquid rotates up towards top. We see Garrosh doing what they can, but look how quickly Fnatic melts down this tower.
Full
right
control.
now, it is a full tower defense. Everything's going wrong right now for Team Liquid.
Exactly, and you have to stop it now. At the same time, you have to stop us. You can't stop everything. This is checkmate right there. Billy knows it. He is sleeping through all of this as we have Fnatic going for the boss. The shots are firing over and over again. They're going to be down on 4. This is going to be game unless Billy makes the miracle happen. It's not working out. Garrosh down, Fnatic goes in, and they are securing another victory here against Team Liquid, taking the 2-0 lead in the series against TL.
At the beginning of this series, Caldor, I said we're going to see both of these teams just kind of playing it conservatively. Sooner or later, the gloves come off, and it goes from 0 to 100 kilometers. When 2 teams are this evenly matched, all it takes is one team to lose a hero before things blow out of proportion. You lose to Haka, and then you lose all your altars and the boss. Crazy explosive play right now out of Fnatic.
I just want Liquid to start a comeback. I don't want this to end after 3 games.
Neither do I.
But I mean, it was a cool game. And if you look at kills, Liquid was actually more successful taking down heroes, especially that blow-up potential through the damage that comes from Tychus paired with Tyrande. So powerful. Billy, playing a fantastic Garrosh. But then also we have, I feel, to highlight Shrimpy a bit too. I mean,